All right, how we do? We're back. I think we're back, and I think we're good. All right, all right, we hit it. All right, we did it. We did it. Now, service is LTE. We're not 5G. We're not 5 plus, whatever. So I'm hoping this is gonna work. We'll see. I don't know, but we're outside, and we're getting my steps in this morning right now. I think we just hit a little bit over 2 miles. We're on the coast of Maine. We're over in Acadia National Park, which would be a great discussion if anyone's been here before. Uh, but I love it. I don't know. Are you guys campers? Do you guys hang out with the family outside? Do you guys go to national parks? Are you guys traveling? I think the thing that I would mostly want to bring up right now is the idea of prioritizing your health when you're with your family, when you're traveling, when you are sleeping close together, because we're definitely camping, so we're and so getting up in the morning is definitely something where you can wake yourself up along with everybody else. But prioritizing your health in the morning, I think, is one of the easiest but hardest things to do, because you feel so drawn in. You're with the family, it's family time. You don't want to stop uh, that togetherness, and I think it's really hard. I think that the kids want to be with you, but you know that you still have to make things healthy. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I'm definitely someone that needs to make sure that I'm doing everything I can to stay with that consistent habit, with that consistent energy, because if I don't, then it's something where getting back into the routine can be that much harder. So um, eating is one thing. I think mental health is another. I think that getting walks in, getting movement in, strength training, like all those things are going to be hard. But sometimes we just have to hit the minimum of what we're able to do. So we always just want to make sure that we're hitting on what exactly is going to make you feel good. But I think overall, 3 things. I wanted to share with you 3 things that I know has worked for myself along with everyone else. So if you are someone who wants to be prioritizing your health, you're someone who wants to make your family healthier, you're someone who wants to make sure that you're doing everything you can not to kind of miss these opportunities, and then all of a sudden, snap, we're 5 years down the road and you're not feeling as healthy as possible, well, then you can listen up and make sure that you're doing what you can for just a few of these things right here. So I would always want to make sure that you feel that your health is going to be a priority. Is it like putting the oxygen mask on before everyone else is? Well, sure, I think that's definitely a really good analogy. But if you are not putting your health first, you're also not modeling a behavior that your children can put their health first too. They will look to make their health only a thing when someone else wants to be healthy. So we have to start as parents by modeling these behaviors, and they're not going to want to do it. They're not going to want to eat the food that you've recommended. They're not going to want to move the way that you want to move. They're not going to want to get up early. They're not going to feel as if their body can do that type of thing. So instead of trying to get them to do the things with you, you first have to model these behaviors. So model these behaviors by, if you have to get up early, get up early. If you have to make sure that you're walking when the kids are eating breakfast, well, you might have to do that. If you need to make sure that you are eating something a little bit different than what they like, and maybe something that you feel like isn't your most favorite, well, then you're going to have to do that. You have to model these behaviors before they feel as if they can do it themselves. This is a great thing also, just to bring a reminder up about how your spouse can also benefit from this kind of mindset too. If it's something where you feel as if you want a family, you want to just be healthier together, well, then I think you're going to have to model the behavior so your spouse can definitely make sure that they're also able to do this. I've seen this in my family. I think it's been great. I think both from my side to my wife to me, which has been really helpful. And so we have to model those behaviors first. But here's one secret within the modeling that I think a lot of people miss. And I think it's the communication between parents, between the couple, to make sure that you make the time to have it happen. Because if you don't, then I think that that's going to be something where you're not going to be able to find yourself splitting up um, the parenting responsibilities. Like my wife right now, as I'm going on my walk, she is at the campsite. I started a fire for the kids, then I left, but now she's taking care of the kids. But it's something that she understands that she'll have some of that time when I get back. And if we don't model that communication along with the movement and we show how it's possible to make it happen, I don't think that the kids are going to be able to do that. So I think it's most important to make sure that number one out of three, you want to make sure that you're modeling the behavior first and foremost. And the behavior is not just the actual movement or the food you're eating or anything like that, but the communication that you have as parents, the communication you have as a couple to help your kids. So if you can't communicate to your spouse or your kids, hey, daddy needs to take a step out to get his steps in, or daddy needs to, and you communicating this is such a big win because now they see you doing it, they know what you're doing, and that ends up being such a big help. So make sure that you're doing everything you can. Like, you need to make sure that you are setting yourself up. You have to be intentional with these things, because I know that especially in the Health Dads or the VDads, Daily Dads Step Challenge, you're not going to have all the time in the world with your kids at the perfect moment. You have to create that time. You have to help maybe your spouse make that time as well. So if you can't, that's going to be a big problem. All right, well, but good morning. So here, just resetting things. Want to make sure that, one, I'm outside. Haven't been able to really hop on many streams, but I am this morning because I'm getting some steps in. We're over here in Maine. We're in Acadia National Park. I'm getting my steps in here in the morning, trying to hit at least 3 miles. I think we're getting close to 3 miles right now. I think I might be able to turn around up here. But three things with your family: how you yourself, moms, dads, anyone, that you're able to make sure that you're putting your health first, because then they will start putting their health first, because you want to make sure that you are being a model of good health. And if you are not prioritizing yourself, your time, your communication, the reasons why you're going to do these things, they're not going to do them either. So just like a kid, here's an example. I knew that my dad growing up, he loved pineapple soda. Pineapple soda was one thing that he loved. Sounds so weird, right? So then we as kids, we also developed this affinity, this love, this enjoyment of pineapple soda. That sounds really weird, right? But if my dad never wanted that, I'm not saying it's good or bad right now, but it's something that we just definitely would drink because it was something he had around. So like what we model, like pineapple soda, there's no way is anyone else just going to wake up one morning and be like, man, where's that pineapple soda? It's never something I would have ever thought about. But here, I definitely, in my life growing up, I knew that pineapple soda was a thing. And so my dad modeled that behavior and I took on that behavior. And it's the same thing with getting your steps and getting up. So number one out of three is just a reminder more than anything, because especially during the Daily Dad Step Challenge, VDad Step Challenge, you are not going to have the perfect time. You're not going to have the perfect scenario. So you need to communicate with your partner, communicate with your kids, make the time to make sure that they know that you're getting up, that you're getting out, that you're getting your steps in midday, end of the day, after dinner, all those things. Communicate with them. You can't let their motivation or their inability or their non-desire to do it with you be a thing. You have to start it first, and it's going to start with you because it's only going to help them out first, right? This is a message about putting your health first for them to finally put their health first. It's always going to be starting with you. It has to start with you. If you don't start with you, they're never going to get going. You're never going to get going. There's never going to be a perfect time. So that's always going to be number one. Number two, going on the other side of it now, right? How you can make yourself a priority, your health a priority to make their health successful. It's going to be making sure that you stay very aware of when they can actually join you, when it's appropriate for them to join you. But when is it appropriate? Because I know for my kids, I got up this morning, Dad, can I go on a walk with you? My answer was no. I think in the wrong context, someone would be like, this kid's dad just told his kids that they can't walk with him. Well, no, that's not the case. They can walk with me. but they're going to be able to walk with me when I have the mental capacity, the physical capacity, when I've hit part of my goals. It doesn't mean that they can't walk with me. But if we always, as parents, we have to include them, and this is a hard discussion, especially around like single parenting, all those kind of things, and I get it. What you have to make sure that you know is that your kids, this is a tough, maybe this is a very unpopular statement, your kids and your family can hold you back from being healthy. And I think that you definitely know that. It's not something that's new. It's not something that is not talked about, right? Or maybe it's not talked about enough. But your family's decisions, you are just like what people say, that you are going to be a product of the closest 3, 4, 5 people around you. You're going to be a product of what your family is. So if your family is not going to be, they're not people that really are going to get up in the morning. They're people that like to eat chicken fingers and French fries. They're people that like to drink soda. They're people that like to watch like Saturday morning cartoons versus doing anything else. It doesn't mean it's a kid. I know adults that do that. So if you keep those people close to you, you will become that. You will be that. So you have to now expect that they might not want to be with you. But once they do, you have to know where they can fit in for you. Because all of a sudden, if you try and make them part of everything that you want to do, if you make them part of what you're doing, they can hold you back just a little bit. You still need to prioritize yourself. If you know that you have a step goal of 6,000 steps in the morning, if they're not going to be able to get 6,000 steps with you, that's okay. But you need to now prioritize yourself, and saying no, communicating with your partner, letting them know is great. But now is the important point, is when you make it actually very deliberate that they're going to spend time with you. Daddy's going to go on a walk for 3 miles, 6,000 steps, right? When I come back, we're going to go walk around, and now we're going to go see something. We're going to do something else. But please do not allow yourself to fall into the trap of them always needing to be with you. The most successful people I know, right? The healthiest individuals I know, the people that are hitting their health, their body composition goals, financial goals, most of these people are single. They're single, or they're not married, or they're just not going to have kids. That does not mean that we need to be that. But it's not the fact that they're single, it's the fact that they're able to put themselves first. And we have to do that first so that we can now make sure that we're going to be successful in our health, that we can feel confident, and now we can make the time for them. It's the same thing as money. I love this analogy. The people that know how to save money the most are not the ones that actually save money really deliberately. They're the ones who know how to spend their money, the things that they really enjoy, the things that are most important to them, the things that are higher quality, the things that they are going to be able to have and feel confident with, and now they're going to feel fulfilled. They're not going to need to spend the money somewhere else. This is like people who, I always see people, it's just, I'm not going to go that direction. If we know how to spend our money, if we know how to spend our time, it's now going to fulfill us that much more to spend our time and our effort and our mind wherever we want to. And that's going to be now with our kids, but we have to put ourselves first. It's fucking hot now. It was cold this morning. But take a look. Got some birds down here, got on the coast. Look pretty good. I know I got to get my kids so that we can go down there. I have to clean up the campsite today. But if we can make sure that we're putting ourselves first, we now have so much more time for them, and that helps them that much more. So we're doing this. We're talking about how you are prioritizing yourself to now prioritize your family's health, and it's only going to start with you. So number one, make sure that you are actually doing these things. You have to be the model of behavior for them, model of behavior to get up, get moving, the model of behavior to enjoy what you're doing, your model of behavior to do the correct movements, the safe movements, communicating with your partner to create that time. And we also want to make sure that you're going to do what you can. Now, number two that I just went over is doing everything you can to make sure that you know when it's appropriate to bring them into your goals. It's when you've reached, or you are confident, or you've been moving towards your goal. You can't let your family hold you back. And it's the truth. Your family can hold you back. If you decide, because when I get up in the morning, the comfortable thing is for me to spend more time with my kids. The comfortable thing is to do the same thing with my kids that they're doing, right? I want to go back to the campsite. I want to sit with them next to the fire on a Saturday morning. They get up, we're giving hugs, we're sitting together. It feels so good. So part of why I get up so early is so that I can do what I need to do, but then get back to them after. But if I happen to get up late for any reason, well, I know that my comfort is going to be with them. I want to give them love, right? The first 3 minutes after they get up are incredibly important to a kid's core memories and how they're actually going to feel love and safety. So if I can make sure that I'm doing everything I can to get myself done, get my health things done first, right? Get my protein in, make sure that I'm getting my walk in, doing a little bit of mindset stuff, all that's going to work, right? So that's number two, doing what you can first so that now you can make sure that you kind of include them. You can now bring them in, but don't let them hold you back that way. I know it doesn't sound like the most, it's a little bit of taboo to say, yes, our family can hold us back. They can, right? And so that's going to be number two. When we talk about number three, this goes along with number two. When you put yourself first, when you are able to make sure that you're getting your steps in, when you're able to remove yourself from them, to do what you have to do, to model that behavior, all that kind of stuff, you now create quality. You create quality time with them and with your family. If we're able to do that, now what we're going to be able to do is just make sure that we are making the most of our time together. The best example is this as of yesterday. Yesterday, we got up early. We saw the sunrise. There's a little spot over here. Again, we're in Acadia National Park. We went up to Cadillac Mountain. There's a sunrise over the mountain right there. It's a pretty special thing. You see it coming up. You see all the boats. You see all the islands over here. It's a pretty cool thing. Well, once we end up having that, we go out, we get together, we get a little bit of walks in, we create our tired. And that's what I like to really say. I like to say that we get up, we squeeze our muscle, which means that we move it in any kind of way. Number two, we're going to earn our tired. That means we're going to move, we're going to do something, we're going to have some fun outside. But what we were able to do, we created so much time together in the morning, and then we came back to the campsite. And that's where naps for mom and dad happened. So we were able to grab our books. We finally read a little bit because we weren't able to read as much as we wanted to on this trip, but we were able to read. We got our book. We ended up taking a nap. And you know what? That nap has now created more energy to have that much more time together, that much more quality time together at the end of the day. And so now we're more awake, we're having more fun, we're more energized, we have everything we want to do, right? So if what we can make sure that we're doing is prioritizing our health, knowing when we're going to do things together, like even taking a nap while we're with the family, or with the kids, let the kids, they did a little bit of iPad time, whatever they needed to do. We took a nap because we moved our body. We moved our body in a way that prioritized us as parents. And then it created time for us to take a nap. They enjoyed it. And then finally, it helped us have even more time, more quality time later in the day. I know I was in it more mentally. I was in it with a better emotional regulation. I was in it with better thinking. So all that kind of stuff really works, right? And so I want to make sure that these three things are things that you can think about, whether it's you just taking that next step within the, VDAD step challenge, making sure that what you do is number one, modeling the behavior, model the fact that you want to get those steps in. They will then do it too. Number two, make sure that you're doing everything you can to not let your family hold you back. And I think that with that, it's something, once you know where your family can hold you back by sucking you in because you love them so much, once you understand how to get yourself prioritized, you're only going to find more times for them to appropriately join you. Because now I can go back to my campsite, grab my girls, be like, hey, you want to go on a little hike down to the water? Let's go do that right now because I took care of myself. My mind is clear. I took care of myself. I'm more confident. I've modeled my behavior. I'm feeling really good. But number three, I know that's creating more quality time. If we are a healthier individual, healthier parents, healthier dad, healthier mom, we will have healthier kids. And that's going to create that much more quality time today, in a week, in 5 months, in 10 years, whatever it is. So if you can do everything yourself to make sure that you are not letting yourself, your goals slip because you're just a parent and you find excuses. If I'm a dad, I can't be healthy. If I'm a mom, I can't be healthy either. You can, I promise. You can definitely do all of this together. All right, guys. What's up? Just popping over here about 20 minutes. Always trying to keep these around 20 minutes. I also can't go on to Daily Dad this morning, so I wanted to make it my thing. So we're doing that right now. But MP, good morning. Nath, good morning. I hope that you're doing everything you can. Nath, I know you had a mental health day. I think I saw that in a post yesterday. So I hope you had a really good mental health day. I think we all need to take those. But guys, that's it. That's my message this morning from Acadia National Park. I think we're headed back today. Got to clean up this campsite. But I love you guys. All right. Guys, I'm going to sign off with this. Remember, if what you're doing is working for your health, your mindset, and your definition of success, you do you. No one deserves to tell you different. But just make sure that you're doing what you can to evaluate if what you're doing is working for all those. All right, guys, I love you. Take care. Have a good morning. Best of health. Take care. Bye.